The patterns are important from the contents. New contents consist of the patterns. I realized the patterns of the contents on NotebookLM when we study together with my language partners. This pattern is very unique. Um, I can realize that pattern. Whatever I put uh, the contents into NotebookLM. NotebookLM creates and by using its patterns and uniquely. For example, let's think about the video overview. The video overview is the same pattern. First word, and then the categorized session about the picture and the session first, and then AI. Uh, Notebook LM is one of AI in which the contents are created diversely, and mind map or video overview, audio overview, flashcard, and question and answers. Usually I use mind map to improve the pronunciation because I needed to talk in Vietnamese, my Italian language. And then video overview, and I use video overview to learn with my language partners. It's very easy to assess because of the um, just like presentation and the podcast test. I don't use a podcast. The audio overviews, I don't use a podcast. So and then while I'm doing studying with my language partners, I realized that the patterns of the content from NotebookLM. Actually, the pattern of content is from the created, is from uh, content that I created or I found out. Then and this pattern will be accessible. And also, when we figure out the patterns, it's much easier to understand how we see the contents from NotebookLM. Just like the contents from NotebookLM, mostly we can use that patterns as well. And these are basically, and then when I make some content, for example, I use NotebookLM, it's all the same pattern about it. And the pattern is the same. So, and then how we create first the content, and then how we use the content to create new content with the NotebookLM. After making content, we can use the resource of content for doing language exchange or doing project to improve some content or uh, other purpose. So and then basically I use all the content to learn foreign languages by using JAT program and June AI and Google Documents just like this. And still, I think it's useful by by creating more content in many languages, and then I can help others. For example, I create myself in Vietnamese that I learn Vietnamese, and then so I can help the someone who learn Vietnamese, and then not the low level, it's a little bit high level because the motto is learn foreign language as the foreign language or with the foreign language. So, and then unlikely the pattern of the translation, we use frequency words or defining words to understand about it. We use high frequency words and defining words to understand all the contents. You know, just like diving into the country where the language is spoken. Then, and most people learn quickly and then create some their own mind. But in if we learn the language as a foreign language, we depend on too much the text and also the translation, interpreting by doing that. And at when we really use the language with the local people, only using the languages, we cannot create the sentence or the content. So, and then the program will be only focused on create by the learners or teachers who make this. And then let's think about as a learner, I create the content in Vietnamese. And still, as a teacher, I don't create this Korean in Korean. That's a little bit. I need to do more if I have time to do that. But and then I can ask my language partner who learn Korean more to create the content in Korean with some their own idea or with the content from necessarily some stuff. By doing that, and then we can they get a group. Already we have a group in language exchanging, and the group of who learn Korean, the group of who learn Vietnamese, the group of who learn English. Mm, the group also divided by and then Korean group, Vietnamese group, and Japanese group, and because the native language affect to learn the foreign languages because each language is different, related to it different. So and then we'll categorize it that because we can compare the languages, our mother tongue, native language to the target languages. Though, so and then when we make the group and then to create this uh, pattern of contents from NotebookLM, still useful. And then this project will be successful in learning foreign languages as well. Now I use this content for my language partners. And then I can ask them to join the contents. In English, my content of patterns of create content from NotebookLM that we can make to learn foreign languages by using the content that we created or the content we researched. And then NotebookLM created the content with the patterns a lot. So we can, when we realize we can figure out the patterns, we can uh, understand easily. We can improve. Besides, we can get a group to create new contents. After proofreading it, now I can use this AI to create the proofread version is very clear with some um, AI can give me for written English version. Clear, clear. Yes. Mm. Translating to Korean and Vietnamese above. Mm, mm. Now I can get a new version. Go for my pen. We create learning content by using pattern from NotebookLM. With NotebookLM, the content we produce always follow certain pattern, and once we recognize these pattern, learning becomes much easier. By understanding the structure of the content, we can improve our foreign language learning more effectively. NotebookLM generates many useful type of content such as video, audio, summary, mind map, postcard, and question and answer set. When we study, we use these forms together with our language partners. The structure is very consistent. Introduction, visual description, category, categorized section, and then AI generates a summary. This repeated pattern helps us to learn faster. Originally, I often use the mind map to improve my pronunciation and speaking when I'm in other languages. The video view is also helpful because it's like a presentation, and I can follow it easily. For audio review and pockets and summary, I don't need extra preparation. I can simply listen repeatedly for reinforcement. The important point is that the pattern inside notebook and come from the content we create or the material we collect. Once we understand these patterns, we can reuse them to make new content for future study. So when I create content, whether in Vietnamese, Korean, English, or other languages, I follow the same sequence. Create the content, let Notebook process it, and studying using the AI generated patterns. They use the results for language exchange or group project, improve the content again after group reading. This process allows me to build more 10 many languages, not only for myself, but also to help others. In my case, I teach myself Vietnamese through the content I create. Then I use it with my partners who also want to practice. The level is not bigger, it's higher because the pattern becomes richer when we use more detailed content. When we study deeply, we can dive into the culture of the language we are learning. Most people depend too much on translation and text, but when we use the language directly with local people while creating sentences and content together, we improve faster. That is why having structured pattern is so important. Right now, my Vietnamese content is strong, but I need to spend more time creating Korean content as well. In the future, our group, Vietnamese group, English group, Korean group, Japanese group, etc., can share ideas, build content together, and practice using the same together patterns. Since each language has a different culture and different ways to think of thinking, comparing our mother tongue with the target language helps us understand more deeply. By working in groups, we can practice pattern naturally and successfully. In the end, this whole project will help us learn foreign languages more effectively, and it will also help others who study with us.